We are FusionHaa. All right, Fusion fam, what is up? What's going on? As you can see, you are our first interview outside, by the way.
Excellent. Change of scenery. I love it.
Yeah. So if you could just introduce yourself to the people.
Absolutely. My name is John Germillion. I'm an anime voice actor. I've been so for the last 25 years. I'm a native Houstonian, and we are here at BayCon in July. We are. There's a storm approaching, but we're still holding it together on this Sunday afternoon. And yeah. That's about it. People might know me best as Gentle Criminal in My Hero Academia and Hawkeye Mihawk in One Piece. Those are my two best known roles.
Okay. And if you guys don't know who we are, I'm Chad.
And I'm Jeremy.
And together, this podcast, this tag team, this collective, we are FusionHaa.
Oh, look out, y'all.
With Mihawk.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, John, thank you so much for doing this with us. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So if you could, just tell us a bit about yourself and what led you to becoming a voice actor.
Well, I've been a theater kid since, I was a theater kid. I've been doing theater my whole life, right?
Okay.
And anybody who will tell you, anybody who asks you at a convention, any voice actor will tell you when they're asked, how do I become a voice actor? It's really about being an actor.
Yeah.
Voice is the icing on the cake. A lot of people can do voices. If you come to your average person, hey, imitate your uncle, imitate your teacher, do a Texas accent, do something else, and you say, well, how did you do that? They go, I don't know, I just did it. A lot of people can change their voices, and a lot of people have that ability, and some people are more talented than others at it, but acting ability is really what it takes to do anime, as far as I'm concerned. You've got to be able to go into a studio and be directable. You've got to be able to bring different emotions to it. You've got to be able to dial it in. You've got to have improvisational skills, and acting skills and acting experience really helps to hone that a lot better.
Okay.
Let me see that. So how long you like, man, I want to be an actor. I want to do this.
I've known since I was in grade school. I mean, in first grade, I was in school plays, and then I studied theater in high school here at the Performing Arts High School in Houston.
Okay.
And then I studied at Juilliard for 2 years in New York City. I got cut from that program. I was in over my head. I was too young, but I was Shakespearean training. I was like, no, I don't think that's for me. So then I went to film school. I became a video editor. I've been doing that on the side for a really long time, and that allowed me also, gave me a base so that I could also pursue voice acting at the same time. So I've been doing both for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the first role that you actually got as far as being a voice actor?
The first known role is Nigel Kirkland, the character in Bubblegum Crisis 2040, and we did that in 1999 at ADV Films. Anybody who doesn't know about ADV Films, which is now Sentai,
Okay.
and you've also got Funimation, which is now Crunchyroll. Those studios, along with Okratron 5000 and Coach's Sound and everything, a lot of people don't realize that Texas is a huge hub for anime. 60% of the American dubs of anime get done here in Texas.
Oh, wow.
You've got studios in LA and California, Chicago, etc., and different parts of the country, but Texas is about 60 to 65% of the American dubs of anime come out of Texas.
Wow, I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, it is a lot.
So how did you become Mihawk, man? Like acting wise. I want to know, like, how did you get to that character, man?
The thing about anime that's really interesting is that a lot of people say, well, you're just going into a studio by yourself. You're individual. You don't have another actor to play off of, right? But you've got a whole world to play off of that's on the screen with sound effects, music, all the characters, the animation. It's all right in front of you. So you're actually playing off that, which is more than probably working just off of another actor on a stage or whatever. So the environment is definitely created for you. So some people might say, well, all you're doing is the voice. It's only one layer of it. Yeah, that's true. I don't have to look like Mihawk. I don't have to be as intimidating as him because, trust me, I wouldn't be able to hold his sword. I'd fall over. His abs have abs. I couldn't be able to do that.
You can probably hold a little sword.
I would not be I'd hold a little bitty one, a little butter knife. But I wouldn't be cast as Mihawk in the real world if you paid, no matter how much you paid me. So it's great to do voice acting, but the voice is a very important part of it because if you can't bring that emotion to the sound of it, if you've heard bad dubs, right? Everybody's heard their share of bad dubs, where somebody just goes, I am a voice person and I'm playing this role. What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. Blah blah. It doesn't work. But when I walked in to do Mihawk, I didn't have to do an audition. Mike McFarlane, who plays Buggy, and he's a director. He's a terrific, incredibly talented guy. Helps write the scripts. He's been working at Funimation Crunchyroll for years. He's incredibly talented and he's a good friend of mine. I auditioned for him a long time ago to first start doing shows at Funimation back in 2004. And around 2004 is when he cast me in One Piece. He didn't do me an audition. He said, you know what? I know what you can do. I want to cast you as this guy named Mihawk. So come in and do this stuff. Drove to Fort Worth. Had no idea what I was getting myself into. I didn't know it was going to be the longest running anime in the world. I mean, who knows? But I saw Mihawk's first sword fight, and I looked at him. I thought, he's really intimidating. What kind of voice am I going to give this guy? I didn't know what to do. Is he like a Nico Montoya? Is he French? Is he, what nationality is he? And I didn't really go that route. I had just seen a Harry Potter movie, and I thought about Professor Snape and how intimidating he is, right? How above it all he is. He's just above it. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. So I thought, that's a different person. So I thought about Snape and, that kind of voice, like Alan Rickman does. And I took away the British and kept it very sly and just snaky in my voice like that. And he's just above it all, and that's calm and collected and sly, and that's Hawkeye Mihawk. That's his voice. That's awesome. So Mike said, okay, that works, let's go. And that's been his voice ever since.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I have a bit of a fan question as far as like in the lore of One Piece.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
What did you do to Zoro's eye, man? Like I feel like his eye. So I feel like his eye is still there. Like he just had it closed. Like he's doing some type of like hockey training. What did you do to it?
Something happened on that island, man. I don't know. He wanted another beer, and I said, no, we're not having beer. And he said, no, I really want a beer. And I said, are you listening to me? And he said, no. And I said, you know what?
Okay.
You're not paying attention. I don't know. I made that up. But I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea. I like that story. I'm going with that one. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
So as far as Mihawk and One Piece, I think Mihawk is he has like that cool factor, and especially now that we've seen him come back later in the anime and things like that with him and Crocodile working for Buggy, because
you bet.
Buggy's the boss, right? Hint, hint, wink, wink. Are you excited to see Mihawk come back?
Yes, I love it. I love every time he comes back. What I'm really interested in seeing are two things. I want to know if they give him more of a backstory, what made him who he is, because you don't know anything about him. He's very calm and collected. He's a cucumber. He's like, you don't know anything about him. I really want to know what's behind all that, and I really want to know what's going to happen in the final battle with him and Zoro. And I have a prediction, but this is what I would like to have happen. Okay, obviously, Mihawk wants someone to surpass him, because he's like Sir Lancelot, really. No one can beat me, and it's lonely at the top, and I want somebody to show me something. I mean, give me something to live for. Give me something to hope for. This is boring that I can beat anybody, right? It gets boring after a while. So Zoro comes along with such passion and such interest to be the best that he'd rather die than be defeated. And Mihawk's impressed. He's like, all right, I like your strong heart. I want you to be the one to surpass me. You do it. Show me something. What you got? So it's something to live for him. You know what I mean? So I think in the final battle, Zoro will be able to surpass him, but because he's got such respect for him at the end of the road, he's going to have a chance to kill him, but he won't. He'll just mark him the same way he marked him. Call it a draw out of respect. Call it a draw. Let's go have a beer, have a dance party, and, then that's it. We're good. We're good. That's what I want. That's what I want. Hint, Oda, if you're listening, that's what I would like.
That is good.
That'd be awesome.
That's cool. So
That'd be my book.
So last night, how we got this whole interview started and everything like that. You showed us a video of you with the other Mihawk.
Yes.
First of all, how'd you wind up in the Middle East? And then how'd you and the other Mihawk organize?
Stephen John Ward.
Yeah.
Stephen John Ward, amazing guy, one of my good friends now. He plays the live-action Mihawk. Mad respect, because he, like I said earlier, he doesn't have to sound like him. He has to look like him, be as intimidating as him, and he did the job. I mean, he killed it. He's killing it.
Yeah.
And he went through so much training to do it. I mean, he's already just a cool dude, but nicest guy I've ever met.
Right.
Really. No, I'm not just blowing smoke. He's one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. We're good friends. We hit it off like chiefs. We did a roast battle when we met. It's on TikTok and Instagram, and it was on Twitter. So Stephen and I met, and we were both doing a convention in Saudi Arabia. We were doing Comic-Con Arabia. It's the biggest Comic-Con in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
My agent called me, do you want to go to Saudi Arabia? I was like, sure, why not? Why not? I'll go. I'll take a 15-hour flight like a sardine, and I'll go to Saudi Arabia, and I'll come back 17-hour flight. Ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
It was great, but it was a grind. We had a great time. We had so much fun meeting each other.
Wow.
And he happened to be at the same one because he's a world traveler. He's going around doing conventions everywhere. France, Spain, Italy, everywhere. And we're probably going to see each other soon somewhere else, but Just signed the contract, but it hasn't been announced yet. So we'll keep that under wraps. Okay. But we're going to have a reunion, I think, in the future.
Oh, cool.
We'll have to do a panel together. We'll have to recreate our roast battle. That's what I'd like to do. Yeah. And we'll just see what else we can come up with. That'd be fun. But he's a great guy. I love him.
Speaking to existence. That's all I got to say on that. Speak that to existence. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen.
Got to happen.
And my last question about One Piece anyway. Yes. How did you feel with the live action of One Piece?
I thought they did a great job. They did an amazing. Well, they worked with Oda very closely, so they kept the spirit of it very alive. But they gave it some new flavor. They kind of made it more present day in a lot of ways with the casting, the variety of casting, the different races that play the different roles. I thought that was great. I thought everybody brought their own unique thing to it, unique flavor to the characters, without having to think, well, I've got to be just like the anime or exactly like the manga. You can give it your own flavor on top of that, and it still works. You know, the story still gets told. People really thought it was a hit. We're so glad it was a hit, because if it would have tanked, we was like, please don't tank. But it became a smash. I mean, we're so happy about it. And season 2 is in the works right now.
Yeah. I cannot
wait. Know?
Yeah.
Great.
So, believe it or not, one character you play on My Hero Academia, obviously you know who it is.
Gentle Criminal.
Gentle Criminal.
You bet.
He's one of my favorites because he just didn't have, he has that I can't give up attitude. He tried to be a hero, didn't work out. Well, I'm going to be a freaking criminal. And then he got no brother.
Yeah. Right.
To be, by his side. Not a sidekick, but by his side. That's dope. And it's like, where'd you get all that from, man? And
it's all in the writing.
It's
all in the writing. It's all in the story. That's why I like that character so much. He's my favorite.
Really?
Because he's very three-dimensional.
Yeah.
He's comic relief.
Yeah.
He's a real person.
Yeah.
He's very relatable.
Yes.
He's got a very deep backstory. And what's interesting, I tell people this a lot. A lot of people, there was love-hate for him, you know?
Really?
A lot of people didn't like that arc because they said, wait a minute, what's going on here? I just saw Overhaul. That was intense. We're about to see Hawks and Endeavor and the Nomu and the city get destroyed. What is this dude doing, pouring tea, not hurting anybody, being a goofball? You know, what's going on here? He's not violent. He doesn't mean harm to anybody. So they thought, okay, this is boring. This is filler. Really? And my attitude is, you're missing the point. I go to conventions and I ask everybody at convention, okay, Gentle really tried really hard to be somebody and he kept failing. Who can relate to that? Who's tried something and failed? Everybody. Me, everybody. Everybody can relate to that. Who wishes sometimes that they were somebody else or they could be admired in a different way that they see in someone else? Who wishes they could do that? Yes.
It is.
Something else Gentle does, and this was his big character flaw. He decided, I've tried so hard, everybody's let me down, everybody's abandoned me, and I'm in so much pain, I don't believe in myself anymore. So if I'm going to make my mark on the world or be anybody, I have to be someone else. I have to be someone who's not myself. I don't think I can do this myself, as myself. Who out there has thought, I can't, myself, I'm not enough?
Wow.
A lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
That's deep, right? That's a deep, sad backstory. Okay. And he's trying to be somebody else and convince the world that he's somebody else using social media. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Who does that these days? A lot of people. Oh, my life is an unending parade of joy on Facebook. Yeah. Deep down, I'm not that happy. But look, everybody, there are so many things people can relate to with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of important life lessons about that. Because these days, I see people, I want to be an actor. I want to be a voice actor. I want to be doesn't matter what you want to be. Right. I want to be an artist. I want to be a singer. I want to be this. I want to be that. Oh, but I'm not good enough. People tell me I'm not good enough. I don't think it's going to work. People are so down on themselves.
That's true.
And so they think, and with social media these days, people, I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but people think I've either got to go viral or I'm a nobody. I'm either a loser or I've got all the likes in the world. And there's no in between. And I call BS, right? Your self-worth as a person, your talent, what you have to offer the world that is unique only to yourself has nothing to do with your internet popularity. If you go viral, rock on with your bad self. But just because you don't does not mean you don't have something to offer the world. Doesn't mean you're talented. Doesn't mean you're cool. It doesn't mean you're not cool. It doesn't mean that you can't do something or do what you want with your life. Wow. And too many people equate those two things together. And so I think the lesson of Gentle's arc is, forget that, you got to be yourself.
Wow.
That's my lesson on that. And I think that arc says a lot about that stuff.
Wow. You know what? I think so too. And I think it was really important for Deku as well as his development, because Gentle was the first person that he actually defeated on his own. He did it by himself because he couldn't rely on anybody else.
That's
so that was really a big moment for him.
They learned from each other.
They definitely did. They definitely did. 'Cause when I was reading the manga, and kind of like you said, like they gave you such good source material because I'm reading it, and initially I felt the same. I'm like, okay, like he just did all this cool stuff for an overhaul. But as I'm reading it, I'm like, hey, like this is kind of good. And it just, when it was over, I'm like, oh, I kind of wanted Gentle to kind of come out ahead, but he did it. He did it, but that was okay.
But the other lesson is everybody gets a second chance, right?
Yeah,
everybody deserves redemption. Everybody can keep trying and keep working at it. And who knows? Don't want to give away any spoilers, but you never know what's going to happen with Gentle.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you a question, but since we don't want to give up any spoilers, I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to give it up. So I have one more question. Like I said, I don't want to keep you here too long. Right. So you've been doing this for a really long time, and based off the amount of knowledge and bars and gems that you dropped in this interview, you've had a impressive career, over 220 acting credits. You've done so much. What do you want your career to be like whenever you decide to finish? What do you want your career to say to the fans?
I hope I don't finish. Number one.
Okay.
I hope I can do this forever. I hope I can just keep going.
I don't
want to retire.
That's so honest.
I don't want to.
That's honest. I like that.
I don't want to retire, but because I enjoy it. So I mean, look, everything about being an anime voice actor is a perk as far as I'm concerned. It's fun. It's interesting. It keeps you on your toes. Conventions are great. Meeting fans like this is great. There's nothing. I have no complaints. So I hope to not ever finish. But I mean, I don't know. I've never thought about it as in terms of a legacy or anything like that. I think anime has come so far in 25 years since I started. There's no telling where it's going to go. I'm glad it became mainstream. I'm glad you don't get thrown in your locker for it anymore.
Exactly.
I'm glad it's the cool thing now. Yeah. So I'm happy enough with that to have been a part of that arc.
Okay. Wow.
You bet.
Wow. Gold.
Man, you've been
Gems.
dropping gems this whole time, man. Golly.
All right, John. Well,
Good questions, though.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well, let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find me on johngrimmion.com. That's my website. Okay. You can, and at the bottom of the front page or bottom of any of the pages on my website, it's just John Germillion, my name spelled out.com in lowercase. There's a QR code for my whole link tree, which has my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube channel, etc.
Okay.
For video editing and all that kind of stuff. So you can just go there and find me there. The front page will tell you where I'm going to different conventions, some of my work and all that kind of stuff. It's updated all the time.
Okay, sounds good. And you all know where to find us at FusionHaa Podcast. We on everything. We on all of it.
Yeah, trying to beat the rain now.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, I saw a drop. A drop hit my nose.
We got to get inside. Perfect timing.
Yeah, well, John, thanks again so much for doing this.
Hey, guys, it was great.
We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure.
Well, let's end this thing. I'm Chad.
And I'm Jeremy.
And this is...
Say your name, sir. What?
Say your name.
John Germillion.
Hey, you heard him.
And this is the FusionHaa Podcast, and we out this thing. Ha!
Love it.